down to an intensive harvest type of thing, narrowing the time frame. So there's one thing there's less time that he has to be monitoring this situation, you know, and making sure that the ordinance is being followed. And that, you know, say we restricted it to 3 days. Would that automatically force it to be a special hunt?
No, not at all. It would just be a city ordinances that says, we're gonna allow archery hunting within the city limits at these locations, wherever you guys decide, for these 3 days. I don't think you're gonna kill any deer for those 3 days. I don't think guys are really gonna, I mean, what time of year are you gonna do it, I guess?
Or not enough of them.
And the problem is, they can only kill 1 deer on this side of the highway, or 3. So most archery hunters are gonna keep their tag.
Well, the deer I see are on that side now.
Okay, well, that side is a 5 deer limit, so if you're on that side of 43, then you're sitting pretty good, because they can kill bonus tag deer over there, which are does.
Can we limit the amount of hunters within the season? Let's say we only want max of 25 hunters.
So then it's first come, first serve? I don't know.
An archery competition.
It's probably something you'd want to talk to your attorney about,
Okay.
because what happens to the guy that owns the property that didn't get down here in time and everybody else bought a permit, he happens to own the property right on the edge, and you say, you tell me I can't shoot the deer that are in my flowers? So that's just something you might, I think you could, but, you know, I don't know how you would,
I guess I think what we want to do is just to facilitate clearing as many deer as possible.
Sure.
I mean, we aren't thinking of it in terms of sportsmen or whatsoever, we're just looking at a practical
Right.
matter. We
But
don't want deer here.
As many
How can we
deer as
clear 'em out?
possible means all of them. That would be one definition of as many deer as possible. But we don't want to kill every living resource we have.
Just the ones eating
Do we?
the flowers.
Just the ones that eat the flowers. Is there a way we can poison flowers?
Then you'll
You
have
know,
some random.
I don't know.
So-
I think it's getting to be a little bit more complex than what we thought it was gonna be.
Well, I don't know if has to be. I just know that because you're a smaller city, you don't have the ground,
Great,
and that's what makes it difficult.
yeah.
You know, if you're Red Wing or Rochester, I mean, they got acres and acres
Or village.
of
No kidding.
uninhabited land that they can set those bull hunters as long as they got permission to go there, and they do.
Yeah.
The problem is, and St. Charles is gonna have the same problem. It's gonna have the exact same problem. You know, you're right there, and you could be sitting in your tree stand and watching a kid ride by on his bike. And St. Charles is even worse. They don't even have moccasin bluff. I mean, they don't have any. They got one city park that has a few deer in it. Otherwise, all the deer aren't at that park. They're in town. So I don't know what they're doing.
Say this is like a pest control issue and hire someone to just kill as many.
That would be your shooting permit. And my understanding of that requires a management plan that has to be turned in the city.
So the DNR
And
has
that's,
to
I believe, the
approve
most
that.
extensive, and I can give you a phone number to call if you want to
From
go down that
wildlife?
road. Yeah, Don Nelson would be the contact person on that. But my understanding is that is the most extensive, where you have to have a management plan put in place,
And you're allowed to take so many deer?
yes,
And then the deer, what do you do with those deer once they're taken by those?
usually they're donated to,
Food shop.
yeah, food shop or something like that.
Well, how about this? Just saying, you use special permits, and we want 100 dead deer. Don't stop until you do it. I really hate how these conversations are going.
Yeah, there aren't 100 deer that we need to kill. If
Really?
we-
Really?
Yeah, really, really. I think if we harvested 15 deer, we'd make a big dent. I don't imagine, it's hard to imagine that there would be the deer aren't living in people's yards here, they're living on the bluff.
That's where you're wrong. Absolutely wrong.
No, I
The
don't
little
think so,
fawns,
but,
they got the fawns laying right in the yard. Dave Johnson's wife today told me that the little fawn lay there and the mother come back to it, feeds it, and she goes eats the flowers again. They've got,
dog, why didn't their dog chase them?
why don't they chase it away?
I don't think they got a dog in there.
Does that person want deer there?
What?
Does that person want deer there?
Yep.
All they need to do is go out and shush it away. The little fawn will get up and run away.
I don't know, them deer have gotten so tame.
I know, I've got one I can get to within 5 feet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to eat out of my hand.
Well, why don't you just,
Hopefully it's not poisonous flowers.
Yeah.
Have a little poisonous.
blow him up then and take him out of town?
Maybe I'll just put up a 4-foot
But,
box. and shoot
I
this.
honestly believe there's at least
Probably taste good.
75 to 100 deer right now. I believe that. Every night, or every day, there's not so much during the day, but at night you see a lot of them, don't you?
The most I would see deer is when it got to be the winter months and they would start to yard out. They'd wait at the edge of the, by where the school property is, and they would come across those open fields as a group and come and feed there because it's agricultural feed. They're trying to get the food that's left over because the pine needles on the bluff aren't tasting as well as they used to.
I saw it
That's
going,
when I see most of the deer.
I saw it going to fawns crossing that street just yesterday, during the day.
I think I did too.
She